Hey, Elise Pickett here with the Urban Harvest, and today I am going to show you when it is time to harvest your loofah gourd and how to go about doing it. Loofah gourd is a wonderful addition to the summer garden. It grows really well here in Florida, has next to no issues with pests. If you're not planning on doing much with your garden over the summer months, I love to plant loofah gourd because once you get it established, you can kind of just leave it and let it do its thing. It takes 4 months before the loofah gourd gets even close to producing. So once you get it going, you leave it, you come back in the cooler fall months and you'll have a ton of blooms, a ton of gourds growing, and it's just such a fun, unique thing. They make great additions to children's gardens and whatnot. So today, though, I wanted to show you how to harvest the gourds and when it's actually time. So here you can see we have 2 gourds. One is still green and one is turned brown. And I know this is a video, so you can't really feel the difference, but one of the best ways to know when it's time to harvest is to feel the gourd. Now this green gourd is quite heavy. It's still got all of the water in it, whereas this brown one is completely dried out, very lightweight. I don't know, maybe 1/10 of the weight. So even though you can't be here to feel it with me, if you grow these in your garden and start feeling the weight, you'll start to feel the gourd lighten up. And at that point, you can go ahead and harvest. Now they don't have to be all the way brown and brittle for you to harvest them. You can absolutely leave them on the vine. Clearly it's not slowing down the growth of the plant any by just letting it dry on the vine. But if you're looking to harvest a little early or it's the end of season, these are very, very warm loving plants. So as soon as we get that first cold snap, this vine will be done. So if it's that time and some of them aren't quite ready or they're not quite brown, once they start to get a little bit lighter, and the flesh right now is not very firm. I could still get a nail into it, a fingernail if I wanted to, but once it's green but starting to get hard where you can't quite puncture through it, that's another sign that you can go ahead and harvest it. And the sponge will be developed inside, even though it's not brown and dried out and brittle yet. This isn't actually a sponge. Everybody thinks it is. It's a gourd. Clearly, we grew it on a vine, not the bottom of the sea. But this is exactly what you would purchase at the store for the loofah sponges for showering. You can use it for washing dishes. I actually had a large harvest and had some of them I never even picked the skin off of. And when my daughter was born, the seeds inside rattle. I just handed it to her as a rattle and she played with that for several months before she finally got the brown skin to start flaking off, and then of course I took it away. But it was just a fun, different use for it, I suppose you could say. Great thing about these vines and the loofah gourd is that they're super easy to save seed for. So once you harvest your sponge, you'll see that the seeds are inside and they're just very easy to pick right out. They come right out and you can save your seed for growing next year. Super simple. You don't have to dry them or do any sort of cleaning process. They're good to go. This plant is so much fun to grow. It's a wonderful addition to the summer garden. It attracts loads of pollinators, and you get something a little bit different, a little bit fun to experiment and play with in the garden for next to no maintenance. Hopefully this video has convinced you how easy it is to grow loofah gourds here. If you do decide that you're going to grow loofah gourds again next spring and summer, please leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. While you're down there, hit the subscribe button so you're alerted every time a new video comes out on Florida-based vegetable gardening. Happy growing!